Welcome back to the National Hurricane Center. This is Ken Graham in our operations area. 5 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Central, your latest information on Hurricane Ida. Extremely life-threatening situation unfolding. We've been talking about a major hurricane going to be impacting the Louisiana coast, and that is what is unfolding at the current time. Latest winds 80 miles per hour, moving northwest at 15 miles per hour. Looking at the satellite, continuing to get more geared up with time. We've got the hurricane hunters constantly getting into this system. This is the latest forecast. In fact, this was just updated minutes ago. The current location really close, getting close to the Cuba coast. By tomorrow morning, Saturday morning, coming off the coast of Cuba, getting into the Gulf of Mexico, where we have extremely warm water, and the track puts this system right over that warm water. Not much shear, so we expect this to continue to intensify. Right now, 80 miles an hour. We do think with time becoming a major hurricane, which is Category 3 or higher. We are now thinking that by the time you make landfall here, it could be a Category 4 hurricane. So significant, catastrophic wind damage associated with this system, and that's why we have that hurricane warning up for portions of the southeast Louisiana coast. Anywhere these areas you see in red right here, that's where we have that hurricane warning. We can see some of those hurricane force winds. And remember, it's not just at that core center. It also spreads out from there. So just because you're not around that center doesn't mean you're going to get some of those core winds, but right around that center is an intense amount of hurricane wind and catastrophic damage associated with that wind. Staying a hurricane, making landfall, looking at the timing here, Sunday afternoon, and then the movement slowing down slightly with time as it tries to make the turn back to the north and eventually back to the north east movement, staying a hurricane inland. Remember, when you start off so strong, you keep those hurricane force winds a little longer inland. So even if you're not just on that coast, you're still going to see the intense trees down, power outages, extensive power outages at a lot of these areas, and then still a tropical storm even moving into portions of Mississippi. So any one of these areas, just a catastrophic amount of damage associated with this wind. Let's look at the timing. This is really important. It's so important you listen to the local officials. If they're talking about you need to leave, if there's evacuations, please listen to them. Please listen to them. It's an extremely dangerous situation, and it's not just waiting on that landfall. Look how early the winds arrive. So you have today, you have tonight, you have all day tomorrow, because by the time you get into Sunday morning, you're going to start seeing some of those tropical storm force winds approach the coastline of Louisiana and Mississippi. Just a dangerous situation. So at that point, it's just too dangerous to be outside, too dangerous to be carrying plywood, too dangerous to be preparing. So you got to wrap things up. You got today, you got tonight, and you got into tomorrow, Saturday as well. So listen to local officials. It's time to get going. It's time to really do what you need to do to stay safe from this storm. It's just a very serious situation unfolding here. Not just on the coast, but even by Sunday evening, start seeing some of this wind stretch into Baton Rouge. You go back in time, you think about some of those hurricane force winds and wind gusts into Natchez, Vicksburg, Baton Rouge. Any one of these areas could see some of that catastrophic wind. Let's look at some of the other impacts. The other one is storm surge. All these systems are going to produce, especially these strong ones and fairly large system, can produce an incredible amount of storm surge. This is the brand new update. Literally about 5 minutes ago we got this. So a couple areas to look at. Intercoastal City over to Morgan City, 6 to 9 feet of storm surge. That includes Vermilion Bay. And you think about this, I'm going to try to equate that to height here. 10 to 15, Morgan City over to the mouth of the Mississippi River. 10 to 15 feet. That's up your pant leg. What am I, 6'5", okay? So I'm 6'5", and I'm talking water way over my head. That's how much water we're talking about in some of these areas on the coast, and then filling up inland and channeling in some of these inlets. Mouth of the river, back over to Ocean Springs, you can see some areas here, 7 to 11 feet of storm surge, also well over my head. Lake Pontchartrain, 4 to 7 feet, Maurepas, 3 to 5, and even if you're over there in Ocean Springs, 4 to 7 feet in some of these areas. That's the potential. That's the potential storm surge. Looking at 1,000 different hurricanes, bigger, smaller, left, right. We throw all that at it and come up with these storm surge values. Also brand new, besides the storm surge, the brand new graphic for rainfall, continuing to increase, just catastrophic amounts of rain in some areas. Hard to always know exactly where this is going to set up, but it's going to be right along that track, and to the right of the track, you're going to see some areas 15 to 20 feet of 20 inches of rainfall. So you have that storm surge in feet, you have inches of rainfall. It's hard to drain that rain when you have so much storm surge. It just blocks it up and backs it up. So dangerous situation, not just the storm surge, but the rainfall. Look at this area in red, 10 to 15 inches of rainfall, and even 6 to 10 in a large area in orange. Catastrophic amount of rainfall, and some of it can stretch well away from the center in some of those rain bands. So those are the hazards. And to really circle back, looking at the be ready by, I've talked about storm surge, catastrophic, life-threatening, the wind, and also this rainfall. And you'll have tornadoes as well in that right front quadrant with time. That's all hazards. It's a life-threatening situation. Listen to the local officials. Time to get going now. You got tonight, you got tomorrow, and they're going to start seeing some of these impacts. This has been Ken Graham with the latest information on Hurricane Ida.